Hello, this is Miss Rodriguez, and I am going to record what the book report should look like and an example. So if you want to refer back to it, you can. But this book report is due monthly. It'll get assigned the first day of the month, and then it'll be due the last day of the month as well. I will have the due dates on Google Classroom, but this is what it looks like. And I'm going to go slide by slide. So my book report, the students will start off by typing their name here. So Miss Rodriguez. Then they will be inserting a picture of their book. So I am going to be doing the creepy crayon. So that is what I'll do. They can go on Google. They can also go to insert. And then image, and then it goes upload from, or not upload, it says stock and web photos, and this pops up. So I could also type in the creepy crayon, and it would pop up. Sometimes things don't really pop up the best, so however they want to do it, but I got this picture from Google. The next slide is the characters. So my character name that I wanted to do is Jasper Rabbit, because he is the main character there. A list of traits. So I am going to be doing, he is curious. That is something that describes him. I would say he is sneaky, because he chose the crayon and it, did his work for him. Another thing that I would say about Jasper Rabbit is that he is responsible, because he made the right choice at the end. And then here I am going to describe the character. So Jasper Rabbit is a rabbit or a bunny who is a kid. He is a boy that attends elementary school. I could also describe he is short. He is a white rabbit. He has, he wears sneakers. He wears a sweater. But yeah, I would just describe about him. And then another trait another character name, there is Elliot Pelican at the very end. List of Elliot Pelican. We don't really know too much. It's a pretty short book, but the students will be using chapter books. But Elliot Pelican, we can also say he's curious. He is adventurous, because he lives on an island. He lives on an island. Yeah, so, and I can describe Elliot Pelican. Elliot Pelican is a white pelican. He lives on a sandy island. He is a boy that lives on a sandy island. Okay, and then I would go and add a quote that describes his character and traits. So I could go to the book. I don't have the book in front of me, but I would just add a quote, and I could say, Jasper Rabbit knew it was wrong to use the crayon, but he did anyway. I don't know if that's a quote from I don't have the book in front of me, so I'm just, making it up. And then a quote for Elliot Pelican. Elliot Pelican was exploring the white sandy beach. It could also be something that describes it. Usually at the beginning of the story, where it says Jasper Rabbit was a 4-year-old white cottontail rabbit, however it is. But yeah, that is basically what I do here. I'm making character profiles. I need to make 2. And then I am making, this is the setting. So where does it take place, when, and then a description, and then a quote from the story. So where this takes place at an elementary school at home. So I think there's a name of the city in the book, but I don't remember. So we're just going to say the story takes place in Bunny Hollow. I don't really know. I think there is a name though. When does it take place? The story takes place in the present. There might be a specific period of time. It might be in the past. We don't really know too much in this story, but it takes place in 1970. It takes place in 2000. If the students want to use the issue date of the book, that is fine. So the story takes place in the present around 2013. I don't know. Or it takes place around 2013. A description, let's say Bunny Hollow is a magical place where different animals live in harmony. Okay, I just kind of describe, I could describe a little bit more. It is a small city where Jasper lives in a townhouse. I don't know. Yeah, I have to look at the book, and the students are going to be using chapter books, so it'll be a little different. And then they'll be you'll be adding a quote here. So they will say, it all began in a small city of Bunny Hollow. In the small city of Bunny Hollow. It's a quote from the book. I don't have the book in front of me. Then I go to the next. There's a conflict and there's a resolution. Every story has a conflict for the most part and a resolution. So the conflict in this story is Jasper finds this crayon, Jasper finds this crayon, he uses his crayon, it basically cheats for him and all this work. His resolution is that he dumps it down the toilet. So the main conflict is Jasper finds a purple crayon. The crayon helps him do his work and cheats for him. Jasper tries to get rid of the crayon. Cool. And then my resolution would be Jasper finally gets rid of the crayon by flushing it down the toilet. Okay. That is my conflict and my resolution. I went over a little bit of part of the story. Some key events. I start going over what happens in the actual book. So first, Jasper is introduced and he fails every subject except art. Okay, and then 2, he is walking one day and finds a purple, sorry if my dog is in the background snoring, a purple crayon. And then 3, the purple crayon cheats for Jasper and does all of his work. Jasper tries to get rid of the crayon. Okay. And then my last ending of the story, Jasper flushes the crayon down the toilet where Elliot Pelican finds it on the beach. Cool. Those are my key events of my story. And then my theme. So my theme, this one doesn't have a text box. I will add a text box to it because I deleted it. But there's two themes. I'm going to find two themes of the story. So my first theme would be for Jasper Rabbit might be something like, cheating is wrong. And then a quote from the story could be like, Jasper knew that the crayon was getting all A's. I don't know. In the story, Jasper gets a special award for being the most improved bunny. And then another theme might be try your best. So at the end of the story, Jasper received a B minus, and he was very excited because he actually did the work. So those would be my two themes. The students can decide what the theme of the book is. Every theme might be a little different, especially on their interpretation of the book. And then we go to this slide, and this is our new words. So a word that might be new, they could say purple. Definition would be, it is a color that it is a color. I mean, it's going to be different words that they're, they don't really know, but I trying to think of words that would be in the book. It is a color, purple, some items that are purple are cabbage and I'm trying to think of something else that's for grapes. Okay, then a sentence, I see the purple crayon on the beach. Cool. Then I would just keep adding more words. So another word might be inspired. Inspired, and inspired means that you are moved in a certain way. And then again, I would just fill it out for all of them. I would have to have, these students will have to have 4 words. So you would fill out for all of these words. I'm not going to do it just because this video is getting a little long. And then I move over to my ratings. So this is where the students are going to rate this book. So what I'm doing is I'm going to be just clicking it and then clicking delete. So I'm going to be rating the book a 3 out of 5. So I just remove those stars. My favorite part of the book, my favorite part of the book is when Jasper flushes the crayon down the toilet. Okay, and we want to make sure that the students are writing a complete sentence for most of this. They're writing my favorite part, my review. So then again, I start, my review of the book is 3 out of 5 stars. And then they can even write a little bit more. I gave it 3 stars because I didn't like the ending. Okay. And then my least favorite part, I would start again. My least favorite part is when Jasper tried to melt the crayon. And then I could explain a little bit more. Students are going to be doing it at their own, at their own rate. So, however, this is for a month. So if students want to fill in more elements, so I would write, my least favorite part is when Jasper tried to melt the crayon. I could explain, this is my least favorite part because, and I would continue on. So this is part of challenging some students. So if students are giving me what it is, then that I will accept it. But if students want to go above and beyond, they're explaining this, and that is an element that is going to support them when they do the state testing and even as they go on to 4th grade. There is also a scoring rubric. So this is how students can check their work and make sure that they are going to be receiving, the proper grade that they want. So characters. So this is the scoring. So they get a 1 if not all the parts are complete and the details from the text are not included. So going back, if they did not include these details here, then that's when they're going to get a 1. And if it's not complete, then they're going to get a 1. The way you get a 4 is all the parts are complete. They're using complete sentences. Details from the text are included, which means they're quoting parts from the book. And then they can get a 3 if they are using complete sentences, parts are complete, they added some details from the text. So they added a couple things, but not all of it. So especially in this least favorite part, they would get a 4 if they were adding details from the book. So my favorite part is when he flushed down the crayon, when he flushed the crayon down the toilet, a 2 or the not including too many details would look like me saying, my favorite part of the book is the end. That's it. That is not including elements from the book. So you can use this as a guide. I'm going to leave it. Students are not touching this part. You don't have to do anything from slide 9. But it's a part for you to check as well how I'm going to be scoring and grading them. But that's it. If you have any questions, please let me know. These will be on Google Classroom, and students will be working on them during small groups and throughout the rest of the month. And this will be done monthly. So they're going to get one for November, December, January, and continue on. But yeah, if you have any questions, please reach out to me.